Dressage had an extremely good showing, we felt, at the World Equestrian Games, and a very strong showing at the Pan American Games in Mexico. So our hopes are running reasonably high for the London Games. It is a tough field, and though Canada has been improving steadily over the years, we don't underestimate our competition. We're hoping for a personal best, or a national best, I should say, in our results. If we medal, that would be fantastic, but we don't want to put excessive pressure on our athletes. We do have long-term goals, so ultimately our hope is that we will be significantly in medal contention for 2016, and we see 2012 as a way station on the way there. Well, the perennial favourite for Canada in dressage is, of course, Ashley Holzer. I'm a little reluctant to name our stars, though we have quite a few, because our selection has not taken place as yet, and no one is guaranteed a spot on the team in any of our disciplines. And indeed, one of the challenges for us for our qualification process is in the New World. The main qualification form is at the Pan American Games, which actually is held at a significantly lower level than the Olympics. And that creates a strange kind of discontinuity, I have to say, where the athletes who qualify us for the Olympics aren't the same athletes typically who represent us at the Olympics. It's a misfortune for them. It's a little strange, and we are actually looking in consultation with our colleagues across the hemisphere at changing this for the 2015 and subsequent games, perhaps to a mixed team. If we were to go to a fully Grand Prix team at the Pan American Games, although that would put it on an equal footing with the Olympics, it would doubtlessly have the effect of eliminating the vast majority of countries in this hemisphere from even aspiring to go to the Pan American Games. It's a delicate balancing act as a result.
How's he doing?
The new coach is Marcus Gribb. He has signed on relatively recently. Dressage is a perilous place at the best of times, and it's not a discipline for the faint of heart. And indeed, Canada, to be candid, has had a number of dressage coaches over the past few years. Marcus was clearly very successful at his first outing, taking our Pan American team to the Pan American Games. The next stage, however, is working with the Grand Prix riders, who are again a completely different group of riders who will be going to the Olympics. And it is also a very different way of coaching, because in eventing, for example, there is one coach, David O'Connor, who works very significantly with all of the athletes, and for some of the athletes, with the athletes' individual coaches. Dressage, it's far more usual that each of those riders is either self-coached or has his or her own coach, and that relationship is one that they guard very jealously. The ability of a national team coach, therefore, to coach the national or the Olympic dressage team is as much an exercise in diplomacy as it is one in sport. We've been fortunate in being able to invest very heavily in all four of our Olympic and Paralympic disciplines. The successes that we had at the 2008 Olympics, as well as the program that we put in place, has enabled us to gain funding from Own the Podium, which is a national funding body. We now expect annually a total between $1.2 to $1.5 million in public support, and that's very significant, vastly more than we've ever had in the history of Canadian equestrianism. So we have been able, fortunately, to send our riders to Europe to ensure that they're able to compete against the best in the world, so that when they go to the Olympics, they are ready for what they see there. And I think since we're talking about dressage, it is particularly important in dressage, because it's a subjective sport, to allow our riders to be exposed to judges, to allow the judges, international judges, to see our riders. Every judge worth his salt will tell you that it makes no difference whether they know you or they don't know you, whether you come with a reputation or not. All I can say is that the riders themselves are not convinced by that argument.
Exactly.